Hey guys, let's go ahead and let's get started by reading our learning target. I can identify points the author writes in a text and describe how reasons support the points. Let's look at that word identify. Remember, identify means to find. So I can find the points. These points we're talking about are the key points. That's an important idea about a topic that the author wants the reader to understand. Remember, it's kind of like the main idea, what it is all about, but it's the important thing that the author wants us to learn from that main idea, okay? Now, the author gives reasons to let us know about this key point. A reason is an explanation for why an idea might be right or true, okay? These reasons support the key points. Support means to explain or provide evidence for the main idea. So when we are supporting the key points, we're giving reasons why those key points are true, okay? All right, today we're going to be reading another science article titled Soldier Bees. What do you already know about bees? Tell me what you know about bees. Okay, you probably know that bees are what goes around and collects honey, right? Or collects nectar and turns the nectar into honey. What else do you know about bees? Yeah, they can sting you when you get close to them, right? Well, these bees have different jobs. And today we're going to read all about a type of bee and learn about its job. We're going to learn about a soldier bee. Now think about what soldiers do. What do soldiers do? Like the soldiers for our country, what do they do? Well, they defend our country, right? They are protecting it from harm or guarding it. The soldiers defend our rights of our country. Now, what does that word guard mean? Because defend said to protect or guard. So let's look at that word guard. To guard means to watch over, to protect or control. So if we're guarding, we are watching over it. We want to control it and make sure that nothing happens to it. And then we look at that word protect. When we are defended and guarded, it lets us to be protected. Protect means to keep safe from harm or injury. So in this text that we're going to read, we're going to learn about a bee. I want you to read through this article by yourself, with someone, read it to a stuffed animal, however you want to read it. But I want you to go through and read this text. I just want you to read it this first time just to gather information about these soldier bees, okay? All right, when you're done reading, you can come back and continue. All right, what are the 3 types of bees that work together in a hive? Well, we have here in paragraph number 1, it tells us about these 3 types of bees, and it's a right there question. It's a question that we can put our finger on. There are 3 types of bees in a hive, right? The queen bee, the drones, and the worker bee. So the 3 types of bees that are in the hive are the queen bee, the drones, and the worker bees. What is the main job of soldier bees? What are the main types of jobs of soldier bees? All right, so let's look here in paragraph number 2. It says soldier bees stay at the opening of the hive to protect it from robber bees, okay? So the main job of the soldier bee is to protect the hive from robber bees or other insects that try to invade the hive, okay? How are soldier bees different from worker bees? How are soldier bees different from worker bees? Well, it tells us here, most hives, the worker bees stay guard for only 1 or 2 days. Then they fly off to do other jobs. But soldier bees are different. They spend their whole lives defending the hives from other insects. So the soldier bee is different. All they do is defend or guard that hive. They don't do anything else. That's their main job. So they are very important, aren't they? All right, guys, now what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to read this text again. This time, our focus is to find the author's key point or that main idea that the author wants us to learn. And then it's to find reasons to support that idea. Let's look at our closed reader habit to help us. What is the key point in paragraph 1 and 2? Underline the key point in each paragraph. So here we're not talking about the key point of the whole entire thing. We're looking at the key points from paragraph 1 and the key points from paragraph number 2, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and let's reread paragraphs 1 and number 2. Are you ready? Help your finger on the first word in paragraph number 1. Ready, read. We could learn a lot from working together from honeybees. There are 3 types of bees in a hive. They all do different jobs to help make their hive a home. The queen bee lays eggs, drones are the fathers, and worker bees do everything else. They clean the hive, feed the young, and find nectar. In South America, some honeybees have added a new kind of worker, the soldier bee. So let's stop for just a second. Let's think about what paragraph number 1 was all about. The author included different types of bees, queen bees, drone bees, worker bees, and now we're learning about these new bees, soldier bees. So what is the key point that the author is trying to make in paragraph number 1? The author's trying to tell us that bees have all different jobs, right? So his main point here is that all the bees do different jobs to make their hive a home. We have the queen, the drones, and the workers, and they all work together to make the hive a home. So the key point, what the author wants us to understand, is that there are different types of jobs that make this beehive a home. Now let's read paragraph number 2 and see if you can identify the key point. Paragraph number 2. Soldier bees stay at the opening of the hive to protect it from robber bees. Robber bees like to steal the honey from other hives. In most hives, the worker bees stand guard for only 1 or 2 days. Then they fly off to do other jobs. But soldier bees are different. They spend their whole lives defending the hive from other insects. They are very good at keeping the other bees safe. The soldier bees are some of nature's tiny heroes. All right, so I want you to underline one sentence in paragraph number 2 that tells the author's key point. What is it that the author wants us to learn from paragraph number 2? All right, well, paragraph number 2 is all about the soldier bee, isn't it? Okay? How is the soldier bee different from other bees? That's included here, isn't it? Soldier bees are different than any other bee in the hive. And that's the point that the author wants us to understand, is that unlike worker bees that just stay there a couple of days and then leave, the soldier bees stay at the entrance of the hive forever. So the author wants us to know that soldier bees are different. Now, in these 2 paragraphs, the author includes reasons. The author gives us facts to support these key points, okay? All right, now you're going to go and you're going to answer question number 1 and 2 on page 315, okay? When you're done answering question number 1 and 2, we will come back together and we will look at them. All right, let's look at question number 1. Question number 1 says, what key point does the author make about honeybees in paragraph number 1? All bees work to make their hive a home. The 3 types of bees are queen, drone, and workers. Robber bees like to steal honey from other bees. Soldier bees are a special kind of worker bee. Well, I'm already looking and I'm already noticing that 2 of these facts were in paragraph number 2. So the robber bee likes to steal honey from other bees. I remember a robber bee being talked about in paragraph number 2, but they didn't really tell us what the robber bee did. So that's a fact that is not even included in this article, okay? So we can go ahead and cross off C. D, soldier bees are a special kind of worker bee. Now, I remember reading about soldier bees, but I remember reading about them in paragraph number 2, and this question is focusing on paragraph number 1. All right, now in paragraph number 1, all the bees work to make their hive a home, or the 3 types of bees are queen, drone, and worker. Now, I remember that these 2 things were included in paragraph number 1. But remember, I want to know the key point, that important fact about the topic that the author wants me to learn. Now, B, the 3 types of bees are queen, drone, and worker. That is a fact that was in paragraph number 1 that told me about the 3 types of bees, right? But was that the main point, was that there are 3 types of bees that live in the hive? No. The main point told me that all the bees that live in the hive have to work together to make it a home. So that was what the key point that the author made in paragraph number 1. A, all the bees work to make their hive a home. All right, now let's look at question 2. What reason does the author give to explain the key point she makes about honeybees in paragraph number 1? So we know in paragraph number 1 that all the bees work to make their hive a home. Now we need to find the reasons to explain why the author says that, okay? Robber bees like to steal honey from hives. Each type of bee in a hive does a different job. Some bees have added a new kind of worker. D, soldier bees are different from worker bees. Remember, we need to go back and look at the details around that fact that was, around that key point that was made. Think back to paragraph number 1 and what we underlined in our closed reader habit. What was that detail that we underlined? They do different jobs to make their hive a home, right? What were the things that the author included after that? The queen bee lays the eggs, drones are the fathers, the worker bees do everything else, right? So, robber bees like to steal honey from a hive was not included in paragraph number 1. That's actually a detail that is just added in there. We know robber bees can come to the hive, but we weren't told what they do, right? B, each type of bee in a hive does a different job. Okay, that would explain the queen, the drones, and the worker bees doing different things. I'm going to put a star beside that. C, some bees have added a new kind of worker. That's just a detail from the text. That doesn't explain why the bees work to make their hive a home. Okay? And D, soldier bees are different from worker bees. Yes, but that is just a fact that was given. That doesn't really tell us about all the different jobs that make the hive a home. That was just one specific job, okay? So the answer to the reason why the author says that all bees work to make their hive a home is because each of the bees in the hive have a different job to do. All right, let's look at the talk question. The author makes the key point that soldier bees are different from worker bees. What are 2 reasons from the passage that support this point? So give me 2 reasons why soldier bees are different than worker bees. Okay? All right, well, we can look in paragraph number 2, right? It says soldier bees are different. Remember it said that in most hives, the worker bee stands guard for only 1 or 2 days. But the soldier bee doesn't do that, do they? It says they spend their whole lives defending the hive from other insects. So one way that soldier bees are different than worker bees is they spend their whole lives guarding the hive. Another thing that makes them different is that they are good at keeping the bees safe. Okay? So they stay there for a long time. And they are good at protecting the hive from robber bees and keeping them safe, okay? All right, now, guys, you're going to answer question number 4. Write about how soldier bees are different from worker bees. So think about that question that we just discussed in number 3. Go back and read paragraph number 2 and answer the question. What about the soldier bees are different from worker bees? Okay? I can't wait to read your reasons why soldier bees are different than worker bees. Bye, guys.